as we talk about marriage, what are the benefits of having a good marriage that really does honor God?
From a practical standpoint, when you're married, you live longer. Married people are healthier. Married people are more fulfilled than people of the same age who are single. And this is interesting. Married people actually have more sex than single people.
That could encourage some
Now,
people.
I'm all for that because I love my wife and I
Yep.
love enjoying that aspect of our relationship. But from a spiritual standpoint, marriage is a symbol of the love that Christ has for us. And in the Bible, when we begin reading Scripture, in the book of Genesis, you have a man and a woman together. You have a marriage that God brought together. You go throughout the entire Scripture, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the story of Jesus, the story of the church, the return of Christ, and at the end of the Bible, what do you have? You have a marriage feast. You have Jesus Christ and you have the church, and the symbolism of a marriage feast in heaven at the end of time. So from a spiritual standpoint, we get to understand more about God's love for us when we begin to love a spouse. We get to understand more about the sacrificial love of Christ when we get to enter into a relationship with a mate and we have the opportunity to serve them and sacrifice for them. It also teaches us that the world doesn't revolve around us. And I think that's really important for us as Christians, that we realize the world revolves around the God who made it. Jesus is the big deal. I'm not. There's nothing better than marriage to remind me of that every single day, that I am one person among 6.5 billion on this planet, and that I'm not the center of the universe. My wife constantly reminds me of that. She doesn't have to say it to me. She just has to be there. Because if we're serving each other, then we're more fulfilled than if we were demanding each other to serve one another. And we say this, my wife and I, when we do marriage counseling, if you really want to be happy in your marriage, just serve your spouse. Try to outserve each other, because when two people are demanding to be served, neither one of them is being served. But when two people under the lordship of Christ are serving one another, then both of them are having their needs met. And it is a blast.
Yeah, and I wish there was some way we could just take that idea and just implant it in everyone, because it's so true. I mean, there is nothing better than being in a relationship, a marriage relationship, where I serve Nancy, I do things for her, I try to put her needs above mine, and we don't do it perfect all the time, at all. But then she does the same for me, and we grow together, and our love for each other and our trust for each other just grows and has over the years to where, we've got an awesome marriage because God showed us how to do that. He gave us the example with Christ, and then we have done with His help as best as we could to live that out day to day.
Yeah.